Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. Welcome back to Planting Ashley. Today, we're gonna talk about money and plant prices, and more specifically, how much money I spent on plants in 2022.
We spend too much money on houseplants.
Plot twist, it wasn't a lot. I purchased 8 plants in all of 2022, which is pretty cool. Most of the plants that I acquired, I actually acquired through trades. I feel like I wrote this down somewhere. Watch, it's gonna end up being that I actually bought a lot of plants this year that I just don't remember buying, and it's all a lie. Okay, so turns out I majorly lied to you, and I thought that this was the year before, so I did in fact write everything down, which is good, and it does mean that since May, I have only bought 8 plants. I guess I forgot how long this year was. I've got it. It's a lot more than I remembered it being, but it's simple because it's all on 4 pieces of paper. Okay. Hello. I'm gonna do a new intro for this video. Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm gonna tell you how much money I spent on plants in 2022 and how I literally don't have any memory of anything before July for some reason, and how since March, I've only purchased 8 plants. Turns out I kept records of what I purchased before then. I also did make those videos called Wibmas, which is what I bought and how much I spent, and I was making those every month. And then I didn't make one after May because I just didn't buy any plants. Yeah, I guess this is the final Wibmas for the year. It'll be a big one because it looks like I got into some goofy stuff. Okay, so here's the year-long recap, okay? We'll make this the comparison video, you know what, why not? In January of 2021, I spent $1,366.43 on houseplants. January 2022, I spent $0 on plants at all. February of 2021, I spent $777.37 on plants and supplies. In February, I spent $533.39. Looking back, I have no idea how I was spending this much money on plants, just like casually. Because I spent a little bit more than I wanted to that month, I wrote a cute little note that says, "You can do it." So cute. March. In March of 2021, I spent $1,082.35 on plants in March of 2021. And in March of 2022, it went back up again. I spent $671.55. April of 2021, I spent $1,629.23. April of 2022, I spent $16. In May, I spent May of 2021, I spent $1,196.52. What was I doing? And in May of this year, I spent $555. What was I doing? What made me think, oh yeah, I have that kind of money. I can just spend $555 on plants. It gets really easy from here, which is why I'm kind of glossing over it. In June of 2021, I spent $355.14, so it looks like I really reeled it back in. And in June of 2022, I spent $0. In July of 2021, I spent $1,077.14. In July of 2022, I believe I spent $0, but let me just make sure I know when I posted that last video of the Home Depot stuff. October, okay, we're set through October. And in July of 2022, I spent $0 on plants. In August of 2021, baby. Are you excited for this total, you guys? In August of 2021, which is, by the way, when my depression was at its worst, and everything just really started going downhill, I spent $3,666.85 on plants. That is terrifying. In August of 2022, I spent $0. In September of 2021, I spent $896.43 on plants and supplies. In September of 2022, I spent $0. In October of 2021, I spent $299.20 on houseplants and supplies. In October of 2022, I spent $79.96. These were on 4 Home Depot plants that I bought in October because I hadn't purchased plants in a couple months and my curtain rod was really barren. Chris was like, hey, you should go buy some plants. And I was like, okay, because I was doing really good in my recovery at that time. I was doing better. So I spent $76 on plants. In November of 2021, I spent $361.74 on houseplants and supplies. In November of 2022, I spent $0 on houseplants or supplies. In December of 2021, I spent $1,119.57 on houseplants and supplies. The big thing that made that month so expensive was I actually purchased a flight for myself and then a hotel room for 2 nights to go stay in Seattle to celebrate the grand opening of Botanicas. It was irresponsible and I shouldn't have done it. There was no reason for me to go except for the fact that like I wanted to support my friends who run Botanicas. I love David and Anya, but this was a super irresponsible decision. I really didn't have the money for it and we were really struggling for a while because of the fact that I made this decision. In December of 2022, I spent again $79.96 on 4 big box store houseplants, the ones that I actually just purchased 2 days ago. And I love dearly and plan to keep them alive forever and ever from now on. What does that bring us to? In 2021, I spent a total of $14,866.26 on houseplants and supplies. A lot of this was from just sheer depression purchasing, having no control over myself. We had money for the first time because YouTube was going so well, and I was just like being so incredibly irresponsible. Like I can't even stress enough how irresponsible I was being. But I am happy to say that in 2022, out of everything, out of all of the months, I only spent $1,931.40 on houseplants and supplies. It's honestly higher than I would have liked it to be. However, mental illness is a like I know I joke about like mental illness a lot on my channel, especially lately, and I'm like, oh, it was depression, and I kind of mention everything like pretty flippantly. I talk about it all as if it's kind of like not important or it doesn't really matter or exist. Something that you'll notice, I guess, is that everything stopped after May. And what happened to me in May was I got medicated. In May, I actually went on meds for the first time in my life. I went on Wellbutrin 150, which I am still on. I actually had a brief moment where I went up to 300 because I thought that it wasn't working, but then it ended up being an entirely different thing that was causing all that stuff, so I went back down to 150, which is where I'm at now. My overspending abruptly stopped because my depression went away because it was fixed by my meds. Well, a combination of the meds and then therapy, and you know, maybe this isn't like the correct way to look at it, I guess. I personally kind of feel like my life didn't really start until this most recent June. So I went on meds in May, but the first 2 weeks that I was on meds was like the worst 2 weeks of my life because of how getting adjusted to the meds went. It was really, really hard. I had side effects that were pretty severe that lasted for a whole month. And then when I went into my second month, it was like I was feeling happy for the first time in my entire life. Like if that feeling that I had was like what it is to be happy, I literally have never been happy before. And I'm not being hyperbolic, I'm being completely serious. Like I don't think I've ever actually been happy in my life. I just kind of saw other people be happy and then I would imitate it, or what I thought it meant to be happy, which is why I think I was chasing so many different things would make me happy because I wasn't actually happy. Like that feeling of joy you get, or just like excitement to be alive. Like there are people, you guys, who walk around and are just excited to be alive without meds to make them do that. They're just happy to be here. They wake up every day, they're excited, they have goals. They do things like, I can't express to you, my entire life has been like searching for fulfillment and purpose, and this absolutely manic drive of having a reason to like exist. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, I'm actually just okay. Like, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be awake. Gosh, it was crazy. And because I actually went on meds, I recommended my mom go on them too, because she has a lot of the same mental health issues as me, except she's not actually diagnosed. And she called me like scared after being on Wellbutrin for like a month and a half, and she was like, I have this really weird feeling and I'm worried like I'm sick. And I was like, well, what is it? And she was like, I feel like I'm just like euphoric. And I was like, well, what do you mean? And she was like, I'm just so happy. And I was like, okay, happy about what? And she was like, well, I have such a good life, and I have a loving husband, and I have kids, and my kids are successful, and they went to college, and they had a good life, and you're doing this YouTube. Like, she just like went, she was like, I'm so happy. And I've literally never seen my mom like that before. And I don't want to go on this whole like mental health talk, but it works. Literally my whole life, people were like, well, if all getting diagnosed does is just make you feel better about it, it's not gonna do anything. They're just gonna tell me what I already know. And it's like, no, you'll get on medication and you'll stop spending $15,000 on plants because you're trying to find happiness because you don't actually know what that is. So I'm proud of this. I wanna frame it because I did it, you guys. Like, I set this goal, right? And nothing really changed until I went on meds. I went on meds, I went to therapy, I got help for my insane issues, got diagnosed with a couple of things. I did it. I spent less than $2,000. Like, it's still more than I would have wanted, but I don't feel like my life started before this June. I obviously had a life. I went to high school, I did amazing things. I went to college, I competed in like worldwide cheerleading, I did fucking track. I went to D1 for track, I got married, I have a cat, I live in a house. There were obviously things that happened, but like, I don't feel like Ashley started existing before June. So I don't know if that makes sense, but that's how I feel. And so I'm proud. If we ignore pre-medication, then I only spent $156 on plants, which we obviously can't financially ignore the other $1,500 that are there. But so that's how much I spent on plants. So I thought I'd read to you what I purchased just so that you can see it. It's on these 3 pieces of paper, and I'm just gonna go through it. It's gonna be a lot of words. I recommend you stay because, oh boy. In February, I bought water plants. I bought a succulent globe, which was $45, a global green pothos, which I still have, which was $30, a Hoya australis lisa, which was $22, a Hoya pubic calyx, which was $16, a spider plant, which was $22 that I still have, a begonia fedor, which was $10, a peace lily, which was $25, a variegated red stem peperomia, which was $14, a fishtail palm, which was $75 and dead, a jasmine, which was $65 and dead, and then a pole, and then 2 plant pots. I traded that month for a peace lily, a burley marks, a fiddly fig, which is this that I still have, this fiddly fig, a variegated schefflera, which I don't even feel like I know. Oh, wow, that was this year. That's dead. That's definitely a dead plant. A very sad monstera, a very big monstera, and a Syngonium albo. In March, I spent $100 on various springtail isopods and a big log that went in my cabinet. I should say that most of the money that I spent on plants this year was very specifically spent on the Millsbo cabinets. So I think each cabinet cost me around like $400 to make. While that was like a seriously big expense, it's not like I just went and spent all of it on plants that I just ended up killing and then never really paying any attention to. So I at least, like, they're still here. Like, I'm gonna have these for years. I'm not justifying it. I'm justifying it a little. I'm just justifying it like a little. I bought a tiger fern, a rubber tree, which I still have. It's in this orange pot. This one. I bought a rescue Hoya, a rescue Amphioxus, which I remember being way expensive, a Restrupia, a green Chloristicta, a jewel orchid, a cream splash, a carnivorous plant, which I do also still have, a cissus, which I do also, no, I actually don't have the cissus, and another spider plant, which I don't have anymore. Then I got gifts and trades. And these are the gifts and trades for March. So I got a big ponytail palm, which was Victor the 1975, and I still have him. I have a Hoya Matilde splash, which I do still have, a philodendron plowmanii, which I still have, Pleurothallis, I mean, I think I have all these, yeah, I still have my Pleurothallis astrophylla, Christopher's orchid, 3 different types of ferns, Rhaphidophora corthalcii, which I also still have, and Philodendron terrapus, which I also still have. A lot of the plants that I'm noticing that I do still have are plants that I put in my cabinets. Or they're big trees that are pretty hard to kill. April, I spent $16. That's it, period. I don't even know what I spent it on. It just says $16. Trades, I got a Monstera deliciosa, a spider plant, a Hoya carnosa compacta, an Adansonii variegata, a Indonesian mint Adansonii, 2 pink princesses, a Micans, an Australis leaf cutting, a Carnosa compacta cutting, a Croniana cutting, a variegated emerald, a red crystallinum slash pappy hybrid, a Forgetii pappy hybrid, and a Paradiso varicosum, Verde and a varicosum. Still have the varicosum, don't have most of these except for the variegated Adansonii. I do still have the Australis, and I have the Croniana cutting. In May, I spent $550 total on a Ring of Fire, which was $70, cabinet. Like, I purchased the Millsbow cabinet, which was $280, and then the supplies for the cabinet, which was $150. My mom gifted me an additional Ring of Fire, 2 philodendron tortums. One of them got really messed up and she decided to buy me another one because she felt bad. A Syngonium confetti and a begonia, I don't remember the name of, and then an Adaba poense. She gave me one from her collection. Other gifts I had was a begonia fedor. Oh, these were subscriber gifts. Someone sent me this like massive package. I got a begonia fedor, a begonia temuyuk, a begonia Darth Maul, a Hoya Deiki, which I no longer have, a Hoya nimbayensis and Giranel, a philodendron snowdrift, which did unfortunately die, but I didn't neglect that one. I will say I actually tried with this one. A tricolor white knight, a white princess, a Syngonium confetti, a variegated heteroraceum, a Syngonium panda, a pink princess, a dark lord, a rubescence variegated, and an odora variegated alocasia. And then for goals, feel that I met my goals, not including supplies. I only spent $86 on plants this month, and I made $1,659 over the last 2 months from selling plants. So yes, I am happy with that. So I guess that's true. I did 2 massive plant sales, both of which netted me, I think, over $2,000 both times. And then there was one time where I sold an Ilsamanii, I think, for $2,000. So, and I did use, by the way, all of that money to pay for rent. I shouldn't have been spending the leftover money though, because we really just did not have enough money. It's been really tight. I felt like I met my goal, but looking back, I just wish I didn't spend any money. I would have rather done those plant sales and then not spent money than did the plant sales and be like, ah, well, it's like a net neutral because I made money to spend it. It's like I should have just not spent it in the first place, you know? That was when I stopped keeping track of everything. Yeah, that was when I stopped keeping track of everything. I then didn't buy anything until October, which was that Home Depot video I posted, the big box store video. I think it has like 8,000 views, so thank you for watching that. And then 4 plants I bought a couple days ago. So yeah, that's the plants that I bought in 2022. I feel like I've said this and I'm just repeating myself now, but proud. I'm glad that I kept track of everything, and I think it's fun that you can see the notable difference of like Ashley started medication and now Ashley's shopping addiction is gone because she's not searching for things to fulfill her because she's enough for herself now. Does that make any sense? So, I don't know. Anyways, yeah, let me know how you did, if you had any like plant related goals on how much you wanted to spend, or I guess not spend, or did you want to do trades? I don't know, just tell me about your plant goals that you had for 2021, and do you feel like you met them, or do you feel like you fell a little bit short? There's nothing wrong with falling short, by the way. Failing goals is not like actually failing because they were just goals. It wasn't like you're gonna get fired or, you know, you're gonna get in trouble, but it can definitely be scary to set goals because it's like, well, if you fail, then that just kind of feels bad. Putting something on your list and then never getting to cross it off. So it's kind of crazy. The year's longer than I thought it was. I really wish I hadn't spent so much. I'm happy with what I have. Like, I love the Millsbows. I would be a lot less happy without them. And then I also terraformed this one behind me, even though it's not a Millsbow. I guess just in summary, I spent $14,866.26 on plants in 2021. And in 2022, I spent $1,931.40. Next year, I think next year I'd like to see myself spend under $1,000 total for the whole year. Or even less than that. But yep. So that's my video. Thank you so much for watching this video and hanging out with me this morning, letting me talk to you. I was gonna film doing a plant price comparison of like, oh hey, by the way, I spent $156 on houseplants this year. Now let's go look at how cheap the plants are. But it ended up being a lot more than that. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Thank you to those of you that are still members. You are my total rock. And I'm excited to go forward into 2023. I think maybe I'll make a 2023 goals video and maybe do another follow-up. It was actually really cool to do something like this where I did something at the end of 2021 and then set a goal for myself and then accomplished it. That is super, super cool. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you want to support me in other ways, you can check out Zimp. It's my glasses. All of my glasses are from Zimp, but I mostly always wear this Aphrodite pair. I can't stress enough. It is seriously one of the best pairs of glasses I've ever worn. Or you can check out Liquidert and use PlanTEA_25 to get 25% off your entire Liquidert order. Both of those two things. The code for Zimp is Ashley. Use code Ashley to get 50% off frames and 20% off lenses. Those are ways you can support me and then also get something back from it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next houseplant section. But for real, please let me know what your goals were for 2022 and did you meet them, or maybe we'll try again next year or decide that those aren't healthy goals for us to have, right? I'll talk to you guys later. Bye! Who spends $15,000 in 1 year on plants? Cringe.